all exclusively available on Discovery+. Well, it's great to have you with us throughout this Awesome Nation series and throughout England's journey. There's been a lot of narrow losses. It's been tough at times. What we want to see now is this England side, talented young England side, absolutely open it up and have a great day out there in front of your television screens today. To guide you through this one, Austin Healy, Ben Kay, but first, Ali Eakin.
Good afternoon, everybody. The final instalment of a faltering English autumn campaign. Jamie George's side have lost all three that really matter this month, and they're badly in need of a launch pad for the forthcoming Six Nations. Japan have enjoyed some special days, none more so than at their own World Cup 5 years ago, of course, but none of their recent results suggest super stiff opposition today. Eddie Jones is in rebuild mode. They've been put away by Fiji, by France, by New Zealand, and indeed by England in Tokyo in June. Testing days for these England players, difficult times for Steve Borthwick. As we were discussing, a success rate of less than 50% after 2 years in the job. This is England's worst run of results since 2018. That summer win over Japan, their only victory in 7. So today, a day to address some shortcomings in defence, in execution, and in putting games to bed. And I think we know that Eddie Jones will have a plan to probe those English fault lines. Super fast rugby is their mantra, it's his mantra, infused with all that insider information, of course, gathered through 8 years in charge at Twickenham.
Please be upstanding if possible for the national anthem of Japan, performed by Mike Ikawa. If able, please remain standing for the national anthem of England, performed by Marinella Phillips. God Save the King!
A big old day for Asha Opoku-Fojora as well, who will be making his debut, we think, a little later in the day for England. We're just about ready to go. Some rain in the air, some strong wind as well. Let's have a look at the two sides then. Steve Borthwick resisting any major surgery after 3 defeats. Just a couple of changes. Tom Curry back from a concussion at blindside flanker. The only tweak to the pack. Sam Underhill getting another run on the open side. So good on the recall against the South Africans. George Furbank, the other attorney at fullback. He replaces Freddie Stewart. No change at centre or at halfback. Cohesion and consistency, the Borthwick watchwords. Eddie Jones has made 7 changes from the side that narrowly beat Uruguay. 1 late change, forcing a starting debut for the hooker, Siang-Hook Lee. Former skipper Kazuka Himeno switching from number 8 to the open side. Makisi at 8, Wanga at lock in place of the suspended Warner Dearns. A new fly half, Nick McCurran, a New Zealand-born playmaker. He's paired with the captain Saito. Takuro Matsunaga switching from 10 to fullback. Some abrasive centres, and Tomoki Osada drafted in on the wing. And bench-wise, we mentioned him before, England preparing to hand a debut to young prop Asha Opoku for Jaw, thrilling prospect. And keep an eye out for Tabita Tatafu among the Japanese replacements. England really at full strength, an indication of their state of mind, their desperation for a win of any kind to stop the rot, to change the narrative. They know it'll take more than a victory today, really, to claw their way back into credit, but they have to start here today. And Japan, nothing to lose, everything to gain. Inexperience everywhere. And a man who normally plays in the centres, playing at fly half as well. Craig Evans of Wales is our referee. And remember, both teams saying they want to play quickly. It's Japan's MO, it's the strategic target of England as well. So even allowing for the conditions, it should be pleasing on the eye, but nothing less than a convincing England win will satisfy supporters inside the Allianz Stadium this afternoon. The ball picked up by the Japanese fly half, Nick McCurran. His first start, wearing 10 for Japan.
In front, stop.
Matsunaga launches it long. England in a change strip.
Out to the 10,
Marcus
England.
Smith to the skies. Given the rain and particularly the wind, that aerial bombardment will be one to keep an eye out for.
Use.
This blast here from Shimakawa. Blindside flanker setting it up. And into the midfield they come. England with this press defence, and George Martin right at the forefront of it. Ben Earl helping him along, but Japan with the first penalty of the game.
Difficult to see whether there's been any changes to England's defensive strategy yet. Good line speed there. Quite tight and narrow, didn't need much width.
Let's go, please.
Give away the penalty and give Japan an early chance to get themselves some field position. Though they've missed touch.
They've missed touch, and they've found Ollie Slightholme, who's in red-hot form at the moment. He's found space in the backfield, in behind Matsunaga. It might just roll all the way through. Oof. Oh. Couple of revolutions on the ball, too many, Austin.
One more backspin on that.
Perfect.
You could have had a Poitrino incident in the same corner, couldn't you?
Stay inside the half, okay?
Well watched in the end by the Japanese fullback. Slightholme, no slouch.
He's had a good start, Slightholme, hasn't he? One of the positives after the last few weeks' performances, getting over the line.
Had his opportunity, of course, given the concussion suffered by Manifei Waboso.
You set, you adjust.
Late change in the front row for Japan. Lee in the centre of that melee there at hooker. Does affect things. You'll have trained all week in your specific units, swapping in the reserves, but that will change. England might just fancy an early big shove here. Ellis Genge will attack on this near side. Just see if they can disrupt those new combinations.
Okay. Let's keep that gap. Crouch can't be in. Quick reset, please.
Big changes in the Japanese ranks. Even since the World Cup, Eddie Jones has been really keen to blood new players to develop a side for the next World Cup. So familiar figures you might have seen, particularly in the front row, the likes of Keita Inagaki, who was there for a long time at Loosehead, Shota Horia, the hooker. They both retired. Michael Leach not part of this setup for the time being, although we learn he's keen to be part of Eddie Jones's plans moving forward. Remarkably, here they come off the back of that free kick. And Saito feeds Lee, the debutant at hooker. Another penalty given up by England. McCurran is caught. Himeno, the most experienced of the Japanese, on display this afternoon.
Let's roll east or west, please.
England already on the wrong side of Craig Evans, I think.
Look, I need a tackle to roll east or west. He can't get up in
Slightly
space.
bemused look there from Ben Earl, but does block the scrum half coming in. I think they'll be more upset by the free kick given away at the scrum when they felt they had a chance to attack Japan.
Shot called.
Looked like they'd engaged too early.
At the next scrum, I'll talk to you.
And Craig Evans just telling Jamie George that he'll explain the decision at the next scrum.
So the first opportunity of points falling to Naoto Saito.
Yep.
The Japanese captain today actually took over the kicking from Matsunaga last week against the Uruguayans. It didn't go terribly well for Matsunaga. 43 metres out.
First look at the wind conditions. Very, very challenging. Swirls around this Allianz Stadium, as we've got to call it now. It's going to swing to the left, and Jack van Poortvliet gives that a good belt. Big punch up the middle. Van Poortvliet having to stand up.
Pulled away, play on.
And ride that contact as best he can. That's a little bit loose from Japan. George Martin close to it. It's been swept up by the England captain, Jamie George, and here come England towards halfway.
Van Poortvliet's going to struggle to get into position here, still limping. He gets there to this one, but he's not moving freely. England might need to pay attention to that.
That's the ruck, leave it white, it's the ruck. Ball's out.
There's Curry. Little tip on from Martin.
Roll away, White.
Many people a little surprised to see Tom Curry selected this weekend. Concussed a couple of weeks ago against the Australians. It's his second concussion in as many months. Passed all the protocols.
Clear access.
Yeah, he's struggling. Van Poortvliet really struggling.
Agree, play on, still play on.
Ball's there to be won. Jamie George has it.
Ball's lifted, ball is lifted.
Messi from Ben Earl, and they're striding forwards here through Wanga. Japan looking to pounce. They've got numbers to the left, and chase on here for Tommy Freeman. Unable to control it on this occasion, Naikambula.
I mean, there's a really good example of when you're short of numbers. Just look at the body shape of Slade on the outside. His shoulders are turned in, which actually encourages the kick in some ways. Look where he is as a defender. That ball goes out the back. He's out the play, completely gone. It's such a dangerous style of defence. That bounces up into his hands. Could be looking at 7 points. Freeman arguably could have caught him, but I just don't get it. You know you're short of numbers. Why do you still close your shoulders in?
I've got a question on the defence, Austin. When you play with this kind of blitz, is it all or nothing?
Yeah.
Or can you be more nuanced? Can you make decisions on the hoof? If you want to drift on occasions, you drift.
As a player, you should absolutely make those decisions, because if you come off and the coach goes, you stepped in on the outside there, well, you told me to step in, well, you conceded the try, you just end up in, A, conceding points, but also losing out. So in that scenario there, you know you've only got one defender outside you on the wing. Why would you close the shoulders and encourage the ball to go behind you? It doesn't make much sense. It's a wrong decision to kick. That ball goes out the back. I think Japan scored.
There's a potential 3-on-1, wasn't it?
Inside the 5, 2
So Jack van Poortvliet happy to continue. Harry Randall thought that his moment had come.
2 broke away.
And a good drive to halfway from George. Here's Genj. Decent line speed of their own from the Japanese.
2, 1.
Van Poortvliet, who's probably had Eben Etzebeth in his mind ever since last week. Charged down on a couple of occasions, given a proper working over by the big South African lock.
Use a 9. 2, 1.
Saito shaping for the box kick, but actually moving it through the forwards again. McCurran. Some decent footwork. He's through the gain line as well.
Release tacklers. 7, leave. Use a 9.
Saito, little dab over the top this time.
Yeah, Riley's been looking for that kick a couple of times.
Here's Smith. Van Portfleet. Japan may be caught offside. Slade to the boot. Slight home hurtling after this one. Back goes Matsunaga. And work to be done from the number 10. And enough bodies committed to that ruck by Japan.
Man's on top of it.
Short ruck though. England need to target this box kick, see if they can get the charge down themselves.
Van Portfleet did his best. Japan clear.
Going to be opportunities if England can get that front wall of attack to hold the defence. Japan getting very narrow at times, and there are numbers and space in those wider channels. Just have to keep the defence honest, keep them holding for those bigger runners up front.
Looking forward to seeing the starter play, Ali, see if they can actually attack that back pocket of the line out.
Over the 15.
Not seen much adventure
Over the 15.
In the line out, it's Itoji who takes it at the tail. They've got an advantage here. And Van Portfleet whips it away, and Smith, that might have been forwards. Lawrence charges onto it and releases it to Ben Earl. Under the posts goes the number 8. First time ball in hand in the 22. Earl with the try, as long as that pass was good.
Well, some of the teething problems England have had in defence, they've just exploited there. That slight delay on the pass to send the wider runners. You see the eyes back in front. He's desperate to get out for the runners out the back. And that delay to Lawrence. Just hold, and Marcus Smith, his eyes go, but the ball doesn't. Eyes look out the back, the ball goes to the front to Lawrence, and then Ben Earl back on the inside. Smart play from England.
And 7 points banked as a consequence. It will be a meaningful one for Ben Earl. You suggest he's got a little bit of history with Eddie Jones from back in the day, so that might give him some comfort as we hit the 10-minute mark. England leading by 7, Austin.
You've just got to stay connected. Look at the guy on the outside. He moves slightly sideways and just creates the opening gap. You've got to stay tight there. See who's in front of you, see who's picking the line.
Van Portfleet clears away. It was interesting to hear Ben Earl in the week talking about the sleepless nights that he'd had off the back of the defeat against South Africa. The missed tackle on Dealendi had caused him no end of trouble. It's those small moments which have really cost England over the course of the last 3 weeks against the All Blacks, the Wallabies and the Box. England with bonus ball from a Japanese line out. Furbank dabs it through, offsets his club teammate Freeman. And the pressure is pouring on Japan here. Big counter ruck from England.
Contest over now. Ball's there. Use it. No, you're on top of him. You're on holding him. There's the ball, look. You're holding him. Use.
Current deep in the in goal under a lot of pressure.
Just on a line-out turnover. Ben Earl, this isn't the greatest pass he's ever thrown, but it's just the awareness of the space. You know on an overthrown line-out turnover there's going to be space in the wide channel. All that defensive line has to cut in. And so Ben Earl spots that, gets it as wide as possible, as quickly as possible, and then that forces those back defenders to come up, the thread through. They don't quite get the ball, but they get good line-out position.
Tom Curry with line-out ball, and Lawrence getting in on the game early here.
Leave.
Been a little bit quiet, you would suggest, in this autumn series, but such an excellent focal point at his best. Lovely little show from Van Portfleet. Jamie George wrestling onwards. 3 Japanese attached to him. Stewart at the clear out. Wide they go, and he intercepts. But from an offside position, seemingly.
Just wondered whether there was a little fumble at the base there for Van Poortvliet, but if the player was already offside, his penalty will stand anyway. And England, you'd imagine, will go into the corner. They've driven a couple already. They feel they've got a bit of dominance there.
Wait, this is try scoring opportunity. No, not for me, apparently. Offside.
Jamie George just asking the question. He felt they had enough
what you want to do? Okay.
manpower
just on the 5, okay?
outside to merit a check as to whether that might have been a penalty try offence. Regardless, Smith into the corner for the catch and try.
Right in the middle. How many? 6. Stay 2.
And then scrum half, ready to go straight in on the ball.
Martin claims it well. Here's Itoje. Lays it up. Curry.
Advantage number 1 offside. Penalty advantage 1 offside.
Japan infringing. Underhill, try scorer against the South Africans. Driving hard to the line and powering over for the second week running.
It's not bounced straight back up, which is a worry for Underhill. He's been caught a leg and injured himself, but great start from England. Immediately sacked at the ball, but Japan end up losing a lot of bodies there. Itoje's first carry's really good. Then Underhill just bounces out of the initial first tackle. George Martin gets taken by the outside defender off the ball, when actually he would have been better jamming in and assisting on Underhill. Underhill finds the line. Good control of the ball as it goes over, but this is a worry for England. Maybe just caught his ankle.
Taking a little bit of time to recover from that, Sam Underhill. Just about okay on the grounding. There was a moment when 1 or 2 English hearts might have been in mouths. Going at a point a minute, England, for the time being.
Yeah, they're doing okay, aren't they, so far, in terms of the carrying of the forwards around the breakdown. Just gets it down, doesn't he, in time. Always a little bit of separation, isn't it, from the hand?
That angle.
I think that's no try. I think he's lost it.
Well, no intervention from our TMO, Ollie Hodges. Maybe a let-off for England.
Okay, inside. 5 away, please.
They've had to bring on Chandler Cunningham-South for Sam Underhill off the back of that try-scoring moment. McCurran for Matsunaga. Saito shipped on by Akabe. Quick ball. This is what they specialise in. Fafita drives it into the England 22.
Retreat, Red. Red, retreat.
And Smith trying to hug that touchline. It's gathered in.
Japan out. Japan out.
In comes Van Poortvliet.
Advantage.
Bit of an aimless kick from Japan. Van Poortvliet's away.
Penalty advantage, England.
Playing with an advantage now. Stewart already this match opening up. Smith to Cunningham-South. He's been excellent in the carry this autumn. Furbank, Slade, Lawrence on the outside and bouncing off the challenge of Naikambula, and here he goes, Lawrence. Keeps it alive nicely. Martin frees the arms. Smith, Furbank, Freeman.
Advantage over.
And touches found.
Advantage over.
It's good carries, fast ruck speed means that Japan can't get their defensive line in place and get any line speed. And just working the ball to the outside, that's a big collision, isn't it? We've not seen as much from Lawrence as we would have wanted to, would we? How he's played for Bath in the build-up to this Autumn Nation series, but
is it for Japan?
Hopefully this evening we're going to see a little bit more of him, what he can achieve.
Again, that's loose from Japan. 5 metres out from their try line. There's a lot of inexperience, it must be stressed. Just 211 caps in the starting 15, fielded by Eddie Jones. That's about as inexperienced as we've ever seen in an international at Twickenham.
Only Canada played here with less caps. Somebody told me that, Al, before you.
Yeah, somebody would have had to have told you that.
Perks up. It's not by many, it's only by 13. That really is boring, isn't it?
Yep.
Another good attacking opportunity from England here. They shorten the line out to 5. Ben Earl into the midfield alongside Lawrence.
Just lifted up for Cunningham South. England trying to sap the energy of those Japanese forwards.
5, keep that bind, 5.
Freeman hovering. Instead, he's running the dummy line, and it's Earl on the carry. Little delay from Van Portfleet. Smith trying to get that short pop pass away to Lawrence. It's gone forwards.
It's a knock-on advantage, Japan.
Oof, dear, what's going on with that delivery?
No advantage.
Just one of the things I've noticed about England, and I think it's probably playing with Marcus Smith, is that the outside runners are having to check every time because they're overrunning when the ball is passed rather than kicked. I think because they're so used to experiencing those crossfield kicks, they almost have to be flat to be able to in the right position for those. But when the ball does go through the hands, they're just struggling to readjust and give time for those offloads, those little quick hands.
I'm not ignoring you,
but it's the perfect opportunity today, Austin, isn't it, for the English midfield to really show what they're about, showcase that some of the subtleties that we know they have in their game, which we haven't really seen over the course of the last 3 weeks sustainedly.
Yeah, it's an opportunity, like you said, to try things, to see that you've been working on this for a month at Penny Hill Park, but not shown it hardly at all in any of the previous 3 games. But you don't do it off a driving line out, so there's a contrast there. The forwards are trying to wear out the Japanese pack by driving. They haven't had one off the top yet, so they're trying to drive them out. What you don't do, if the drive stops, is you don't go wide normally, because as we saw then, you've only got 3 guys. If you get stopped, you've got no one to recycle.
No. Okay.
England with that driving play off the lineouts as well. They're waiting until the referee calls for the back line, the defensive back line, to be able to come up because they've moved off the mark, and then the ball's coming out then.
Quick reset. There's the mark. Set.
So you're getting neither benefit. If you don't get the team marching forward with your drive, you've then taken away 10 metres of your attacking space by allowing the defensive line to come up.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Ball away.
Pressure coming on from that England set piece. And a lot of hard work here for Dylan Riley. Sayuto feeding Makisi.
The ball is out.
Okabe.
Use it now, leave it 3. Use. Yes, inside. Hold.
Clearance from Matsunaga again, inviting Ollie Lawrence to try his luck. Ollie Slightholme, I should say. Lawrence a little bit wider out for the time being. He's waiting patiently. Van Portfleet to Cunningham South. Itoje. England winning the collisions quite comfortably at the moment. Smith, little show.
Curry's just been taken off the ball there. The referee spotted it.
Barely advantage.
And he's down, and Earl is trying to capitalise. So too George Martin.
Second advantage,
Furback with advantage here. England. Slade all the way over the top to Freeman. Had to check his run. And Mike Mbula makes a good tackle.
Take the pen. Okay. Yeah, I will. Okay, captain, here's he go.
Just Japan don't want to be giving this man the sort of space. Wanga's defence is superb. Because look, he comes from the back of that ruck, and then he's completely isolated in midfield. He does a really good job of closing the gap, making the tackle. But they cannot afford a lazy kick chase like that. And there's Curry just getting a shot from
Okay, the offside is going to be here.
Wanga off the ball.
And the penalty's on the 5.
A lot of debate around the selection of Tom Curry this weekend, Ben. 2 significant concussions in as many months. Despite passing all protocols, when you consider the opposition here today, I think a lot of people very surprised to see him included. It wasn't entirely necessary.
It's a classic case of social media and opinion overtaking fact. The English medical team are not going to let him get within 1 mile of this pitch unless they've done every single check possible. So there's a lot of people with opinion on social media trying to stop him from playing when they probably don't even know what the facts are.
Some of those people on social media are very big names in this whole area, though, and it is. You're right, Ali. It's one of those things with optics. I agree with Austin. You know, had he come off with a concussion, but no one had really spotted him being down on the floor, we probably aren't having this conversation. But with England, with rugby in particular, trying to make the case for player welfare, is he required for a game like this?
England bearing down on the try line again. Jamie George, the skipper, has the ball. Just another yard will do it. Number 3 in the bag. 1 for the skipper, who today is actually equaling Dylan Hartley's record number of caps for a hooker for England. His 97th for the Red Rose, and England lead by 19 points to 0.
Try and get a bit of tempo. Maro Itoje walking in late, and Japan just don't really fire a shot. It's all a pushing contest rather than any real chaos causing in defence, which means as soon as England gets set up, they can ease and find their way through. Maro Itoje backing in, feeling where everything's a bit lighter defensively, and then he calls his backs in. Henry Slade in there, Slight home in there, and they've just got too much power and strength to go over. You get the impression it's an area England can dominate this game. It's whether they want to or whether they want to use this to get more of their attacking game flowing. But certainly when they get 3 shots to the corner, you'd expect the drive to be on.
Fourteenth try for England for Jamie George. He's had a testing time of it himself in leading the team through this testing few weeks, trying to ensure that the leadership is there in good numbers, even when he's off the field towards the end of matches, as England have been found wanting against the big boys in the final 20.
Carried back, agree. Pillar stay.
Slight home on the move. Across comes McCurran. That's gone forwards. And England will take the scrum.
George is down with a bit of an injury here on the touchline. Surprised, actually, every box kick that JVP's put in today, Japan haven't put a single bit of pressure on him. Whereas last week, he couldn't move without one of the South African forwards being all over him. And the rooks haven't been that much longer. They may have been a couple in the midfield, they may have put Earl or an extra guy in there, but they've been relatively short.
What's your reading of the situation at 9 for England, Austin? Obviously, they've not been able to pick Alex Mitchell this autumn. Ben Spencer was started for a couple of matches, then disappeared from view. Jack Van Poortvliet came in, having not been part of the 23 for the first 2 games. Harry Randall's been on the bench. What's going on?
It's up in the air, isn't it? I think it's open. I think if you watch Porter play for the A team, you will think that guy's got a really good chance coming into the Six Nations. Very good for Quins, keeping Danny Kerr out the team. This guy hadn't done anything wrong. He left the field twice and they were leading in both games. So it's an area of a lot of concern. JVP was put under a huge amount of pressure, didn't react overly well to it last week, but there was a little break just before the first try around the fringes. That's his strength, that's his super strength. If he can start to do that more and start to attack those fringes, that second defender, I think he probably just stands a little bit further ahead of everyone else.
It's almost one of those series where in certain positions you've almost been better off not playing. Your reputation's probably gone up by not being involved, and Mitchell seems to, in a lot of people's minds now, have really cemented that place by not being available.
That combination of the lightning break, the instinctiveness and the game management was there, the kind of full package from Mitchell, as we see a big dominant scrum from England on halfway.
Unfortunately, he's been out for a long time. I think he's back to fitness now, is he? Did he play? He's come off the bench yesterday.
Yeah, he's had a neck problem, which they've been monitoring very carefully, needless to say.
They should struggle, England, to get this kick. right into the driving zone. So opportunity to see something played off this line out again now. Lawrence already made a couple of busts, and we saw the first try. Similar opportunity here.
He's gone hard at that, Smith, from a pretty acute angle, and he's made it 5 metres or so inside the Japanese 22. 3 visits to this point, ball in hand, 3 tries.
England cut it to a 6-man line out, so Ben Earl again will be in at that scrum half position, but might look to bounce out.
George on the peel, slight home off his wing. Van Portfleet swiftly onwards to Genge. Japan on the scramble. Cunningham South. And quick ball for Smith. Throws the dummy, heads through the hole. Van Portfleet goes wide. Slade to Freeman. Great finish. An acrobatic finish from Tommy Freeman. And England in total control.
Well, it's Smith who makes this try. And again, just that delay and a show of a pass is seeing that Japanese defensive line in the outside channel flying up. Just watch, he drifts on this pass. They're short of numbers anyway, and that little show and go. The defender that he's running at the right shoulder of drifts, and then the whole defensive line has to narrow up to compensate for the half break. Slade spots it, puts it across the face. And an easy dive in, gets the feet up to ensure that he can't be put into touch, Freeman.
Yeah, he's giving you all clear on
Just checking the grounding, but that's fine.
10 seconds, Marcus, okay?
Third try for England for Tommy Freeman.
Yeah, no problem.
It's a good kick, isn't it? Oh, well, would have been good if it had gone over. Not as good as he'd hoped. It's just drawing this alley. And again, what you can't do with Marcus Smith is get beyond him with the ball. You watch him blitz out. He's already passed him. That puts so much pressure on the inside defence. And that's the break means that they just can't rearrange in time defensively. Nice pass from JVP from the breakdown. And a really good finish on the outside. There he is.
Okay, so you're going to a clear knock on for us to disallow the try. Is that correct,
yes,
Ollie?
correct.
Okay.
Well, we've got a knock on here.
So we're looking for a knock on by England. Ready when
Just
you
queuing
are.
up for you, Craig. Get the best one for you now.
Ollie Hodges has spotted a knock on, I think, by Jack Van Portfleet.
So it goes forward off the left hand, Craig. Takes it off and then goes into the right hand.
So it goes forward to the left hand, you're saying yes?
This will show us now, won't it? Does it leave his left hand? I don't.
Well, he takes his left hand off it after it's
Got that,
sort
Craig?
of moved
Yeah,
forward,
so
doesn't
clear
it?
knock on there then, Ollie, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
His right hand's on the ball, is it? Does he knock it on? Yeah, there's a
There's gonna be
little
no
gap in
try.
between. It's tiny, but I think it's the right
Knock
decision.
on by England. It's going to be a scrum down Japan.
Well, scrutiny on that, rather in the way that the scrutiny was not on the Sam Underhill score. But maybe that's karma.
It's worked its way out, hasn't it?
Case.
21 points to nil.
Over here then.
And Japan
Perfect.
breathing a sigh of relief as a consequence. They've just to give you a little bit of context as to their background.
Time on. Japan
They've played
knock on.
a lot of games recently in which they've been given a fair old thumping. Fiji put 40 points on them. England put 50 points on them in the summer. New Zealand 60, France 50. That's just to give you an idea as to where they are in the international packing order at the moment.
So you won't be breathing a sigh of relief. That front row under huge pressure. 10 out from their own line. The last scrum didn't go well for them. England will attack here on the Japanese put-in. It's creaking, it's creaking. The ball's stuck under the legs.
And the scrum penalty. And inevitability. Genge is fired up.
Boys, 10 metres, please, 10. On the
Jamie
ARs.
George just opting for the corner. Line out drive's obviously been going well for them.
Dominant in every single aspect at the moment. And
Japan on the 5.
another chance to set up a drive.
On the line, Japan.
Potentially for try number 4.
6 man.
Toji reaching behind him. Japan trying to get their body positions sufficiently low, but this movement is slow and steady from England. In comes Ollie Lawrence to assist. Jamie George has the ball. And England are over the line yet again. Denied a few moments ago, but the skipper has made sure that's his second of the game.
The initial setup from England's actually not that good. Itoje gets caught a little bit high, whether that's an arm from Japan under the ball, but he can't quite get the height for those players coming in to drive on. Just watch, they're a little bit upright, England. Not perfect, a little bit too high, but then they get it to George at the back and they just drop the heights. And as soon as they get that edge there, the work of Tom Curry, very important. That means the backs can come and join, and then there's an air of inevitability about it. Just have to be careful that those backs coming in don't slide immediately past Jamie George and give away a penalty for blocking. The referee happy with that, and Jamie George gets his try.
Two more points back by Marcus Smith, and Jamie George has a 15th in England colours. He's now scored as many as you, Austin.
Well done, him.
Just mentioned there about players joining, not immediately going past the ball. I thought Henry Slade did, actually. England may be a little bit lucky. One of those things that tends to go round in cycles with the officials, and they get an edict to really be tight on something and look at something, and it's sort of drifted off the radar a bit. You get away with it a lot more. Maybe don't get away with the initial lifters in the line out, sealing off, but those players joining, having a bit of a free rein.
I know winning's everything in international rugby, but what do England do now? Because they know they've clearly got massive dominance in the pack in terms of the power game. They're carrying over the tackle line. Do they now go in at half-time in 8 minutes' time and say, actually, we need to see what our players like. We need to see what our tip-on play, what our fast-phase play is, how fast can we play in the second half. What I'd hate to see is if they come out in the second half and just keep punching Japan in the nose.
I agree, because it's not going to tell you anything about your ability to beat South Africa, who are a physical side. What you want to do is start getting some flow in the areas that haven't been so good and getting that balance across your performance. It wants to be an all-court attacking performance from England. Bits of driving play, bits of tip-on play, bits of wide play.
Fafita for Matsunaga, and lovely dummy here. Through the hole goes Riley, and they're racing away here, Japan. Saito, terrific score. Arguably the best of the day so far. Lovely break from Riley, and the Japanese captain claws one back.
And more importantly for England, bits of watertight defence, but let's celebrate the Japanese brilliance there. Loads of numbers, they play out of the back. England get caught with a step in, and then it's just the show and go. They don't reconnect. Slade doesn't get back out there to help Freeman. And then they have those two players flooding through, and Saito back on the inside like all good scrum halves do. His teammate for Toulouse would have been proud of that support line. And it's a good finish. Japan get themselves back into the game on the scoreboard.
So important psychologically for them to get on the scoreboard, and Naoto Saito, as you mentioned, understudy to Antoine Dupont, playing his rugby with Toulouse in the south of France.
Since they went to start the game.
Nice little dummy, isn't it, on the outside. Fairbank turns his back. All of that started, though, from England's defence. I mean, it is a mess. I'm sorry I keep going on about it. I want to be more positive, but it is a mess. You should never concede a try like that from that part of the field.
Big contest.
So, brilliantly claimed by Japan here. Might have been Riley who was underneath that, who created that try for his captain a moment or two ago.
The ball is there, you're on top of him, you're holding him. Use.
Once again, that little dink aimed for no man's land in behind that first line of defence. Slade was alive to the threat.
Yeah, it's obviously something they've worked on during the week, expecting England's line speed to be really strong, so they're just trying to keep England honest and maybe hope England are going to fly forward when they're not expected the ball lifted over the top.
Van Portfleet steepling box kick. I think that might have gone forwards from Slightholme.
Step, five step.
And again,
Advantage over,
the little
no
dink.
pressure.
And Fifita after it. Oh, Van Portfleet bounced out of the way. Smith to Furbank. Nicely picked up one-handed by Slade. And here's Freeman.
Furbank pass there was sublime.
Trademark Northampton, wasn't it? Right out in front of the man. Some quick hands again in the midfield. Jamie George mopping up. And Lawrence boxing and coxing. Stewart, Will Stewart on the move. That's a lovely miss pass for Cunningham South, and Slightholme has a bit to do here. Oh, that's very good. That's very, very good. Sharp thinking and clinical execution.
What England will be really happy about is when the play breaks down, they don't panic. Ollie Lawrence regathers, gets them some go forward, just using a bit of deception with his hand movement. That's that initial pass from Furbank, gets England out, drags Japan's defensive line across, then they attack through the middle. They lose their shape, but Ollie Lawrence goes back, holds in 2-3 defenders, offloads to Will Stewart. How about this pass from Stewart? Beautiful analysis of the space. Cunningham South does the right thing, gets the ball into Slightholme's hands as soon as possible, and then Slightholme weighs up his defender, sees him overcommit, drops it onto the toe, and then drops onto the ball. Smart finish.
Natural born finisher, isn't he? Ollie Slightholme, amazing nose for the line, and he's been very, very sharp. That's his fourth for England already. That's as many as his father.
It's a good kick as well, isn't it? But what was really clever about this is you can't tackle a man without the ball. He knows that the cover's coming across. He knows that they've got the angle because the pass has stopped him slightly. So you can't touch me if I haven't got the ball. He just drops it onto his foot. It's a brilliant finish. Some wingers in that scenario back themselves. They'll have a change of gear. They'll try and go to the corner. We had two guys that were already in front of him in the cover. Very clever play from Slightholme. Brilliant finish.
Top try scorer in the Gallagher Premiership last season. And putting a very strong case together for inclusion on a lengthier basis with England. Japan with a penalty here just outside England's 22.
Look, I didn't see that play there. I see the holding. I seen the holding.
Still a penalty?
Well, the trend's going, isn't it, for faster wingers, as fast as you can possibly get out wide. We're seeing it across everywhere. Virtually every team now has them. And he's arguably one of our quickest, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say him, Faye Weboso, probably as quick as England have. What can Japan muster from here? Last 90 seconds of the first half.
Poor kick, really, needed it a bit closer. They probably won't want to drive it anyway. Take on England, who've been dominant in that area.
Nicely worked around the front. A little bit tortured in that 5-metre channel. Wanga, big Fijian-born lock. Deep into England's 22.
And the word of this next time.
Himeno, former skipper. Through the middle of the ruck they go this time.
Ball's out.
Asada, the only man hugging the width on this right-hand touchline. Saito feeds it on again. Those two powerhouse locks.
Okay.
Making a big impression at ruck time, but
Number 8. Neck roll.
a neck roll decision that's gone against Faulua Makisi.
We're quite hard at the breakdown
Number
there.
8. Neck roll. Neck roll.
Some big spikes into those breakdowns, and Makisi just got that right arm tucked under the chin of Will Stewart, and that rotation as well. That's what the referees are looking for. You're okay to bind where he binds, but what you can't do is then roll your body weight east to west rather than driving straight forward.
Japan on the 10, Money. Oh, no. Okay.
We've just seen so many hideous injuries off the back of it, haven't we? ACL damage easily done. Something the lawmakers are so keen to rule out, understandably. Zero tolerance on that front. Here's Curry, the ball is dropped, and that might be the final act of the first 40 minutes. It is a 40 minutes in which England have asserted their dominance. They've scored 5 tries, one from that man, Ollie Slightholme, one from Ben Earl, one from Sam Underhill, who had to leave the field, and a brace for the skipper. One from the Japanese, from Naoto Saito, but at half-time at the Allianz Stadium here at Twickenham. England leading Japan by 35 points to 7.
England lead 35 points to 7. Tries from Ben Earl and Sam Underhill, 2 from Jamie George, 1 from Ollie Slightholme. I guess Steve Borthwick saying, more of that, lads, and why didn't you do it earlier in the autumn? My word, though, good-looking scoreline, a good-looking Twickenham too. And just to give you the heads up, the Autumn Nations Rugby Show is coming your way on Thursday evening. We look ahead to Ireland's match against Australia, who are beaten by Scotland earlier in the day. That's all coming your way at 10 p.m. on Quest. It'll be repeated, of course, on TNT over the course of the week. Brian O'Driscoll, Sam Warburton and Ben Kay joining me for that one. So far, though, all good for England. Just 1 try for Japan. The scoreline is 35 points to 7. And Ali Eakin, it's all yours.
No changes for England after the half-time break. Japan have changed a couple in their front row. They have got issues to address at the set-piece scrummage. Kenta Matsuoka is on at hooker, and Kajiro Tamafusa is the new tight head prop. Takeuchi and Lee making way. This, by the way, the most number of points in the first half under Steve Borthwick for England, beating the tally that they clocked up against the Chileans at the Rugby World Cup. 35 points to 7. Steve Borthwick with a number of objectives today. A clear identity, to play with speed and to finish games off. So at least a couple of those are well on the way to being achieved. Question, I suppose, most interestingly, will be at what point he deploys the numbers from the bench. That's not the best of kicks to start this second 40. There's a number of players who'll be wanting some game time, needless to say. Everybody's keen to see Asha Opoku-Fojo and the likes of Finn Smith. Tom Roebuck will relish the opportunity of running in a little bit of space as the game opens up, you would imagine, still further. Japan needs something early here for their state of mind as much as for anything else, you would think.
Use. You still got advantage 9.
Saito to Himeno. Captain during the Rugby World Cup in France last year.
Okay, nothing's coming from there, lads. Back for the penalty.
But Japan just with that issue of not being able to get any meters in the contact at the moment.
A little bit of ballast now inside that 22. Nice little dab through by McCurran. Oh, Naikambula might be onto this. And across came Smith in the nick of time. Curry drops on it. And England's scrambling well, ultimately.
Japan lead 4. Your own leg is there, lads.
You've got to be careful there not to let the ball go over the line, because then it ceases to be a ruck and you can dive through.
Step.
Done well there.
Thank you. Back.
Borthwick has to be very careful with that. And see where he's positioned the ball now. He usually would have it a bit further back on the back foot.
That's a great kick. Really good kick under that amount of pressure.
McCurran thinking about the quick one.
No problem, thank you.
It's a great little kick through here. Smith does really well because he's high up in the line, spins, and he hasn't got any of the advantages there.
There's the mark, look.
He's a little bit slower to turn, but he wins the race back, and more importantly, gets that left shoulder across the path.
Shimakawa lifted up for Japan, and first meaningful drive really from the Japanese.
Japan.
Saito for Fifita. There's Hard-running centre. Sets the target well, and the ball is quick. Extraordinary statistic that in the Pacific Nations Cup they were recycling the ball at a rate of knots, an average of 2.6 seconds from the ruck into a new pair of hands, and the process is continuing here. Shimokawa with the latest carry. Himeno.
You can't
Another
dive on a
penalty
ball emerged from the ruck.
Against England.
Within 1 metre, you can't dive on a ball.
Much better starting from Japan, isn't it? Really trying to get that tempo into the game. Got a bit of traction with their carries there.
What would you like?
Their ruck speed is good.
Nine, what would you like? Okay.
Takuro Matsunaga measures this one up for the corner.
England.
Pressurised throw for the new hooker, Matsuoka. England are going to compete hard. Toji went to go up before the whistle went.
Space to compete. No, step off the line. No, step off the line. On you, thank you.
A couple of big Fijian targets there in the middle in Wanga and Louis Viti. Oh, what a good jump from Itoji. He's stolen it from under their noses. Van Portfleet deliberately keeps this in play. On halfway, across comes Matsunaga. And runs into Freeman. Earl in there as well, defensively. To the short side, to Shimokawa. 3 English defenders there.
Release! Thank you.
Saito. Space opening up here for Wanga. Oh dear. It all looks so promising. Cunningham South retrieves the situation for England.
Back for the scrum.
And they'll have the scrummage.
It's a smart little move here. You see the first runner comes hard back against the grain. And it's Ellis Genge who steps in with him, and that opens up the hole.
Potentially.
Wanga goes through it, but all in one hand. Maybe a bit damp still on the grass and on the ball. It's in. Oh. Marcus Smith will be telling everyone, yeah, he just got scared running out there.
Petrified, wasn't he? Absolutely petrified. I think Genge there just overreads it, steps in. I think Earl's got that line. Earl's got it covered. He's got to hold your zones. Not hold your own, hold your zone.
So I wonder whether the Japanese reinforcements will make a difference to their scrum capacity. Well, we're not going to get to see a free kick awarded to England. Early engagement by the look of things from Japan.
Did wonder whether England will say, let's have another scrum. Try and win a penalty to give them field position, but Marcus Smith's going to put this into the air. Big kick chase.
Not the worst of tactics given the conditions, a swirling wind and some awkward drizzle. It's taken in by Makisi. And Japan trying to play out of their own half now. Fifita turns and presents. Curran finding some width for Riley, and a first sight really of Osada today. Clattering forwards and a really good tackle made by Marcus Smith. Curran running into trouble. And another drop ball in the midfield. England off the hook. And the Japanese handling, letting them down at crucial moments.
There's no one in the backfield for the kick.
Tommy Freeman sends it up.
Kicked it out,
and he's booted out on the full.
This again is an example of England. It's just a fraction of a hesitation. Slade goes, and Slade is used to this style of defending with Exeter, so he flies. Just England are a little bit hesitant behind. Sligo sees it, starts to go, pauses, then accelerates, and ends up missing a tackle of a guy running around his outside shoulder. It's just not quite clicking for them yet. It's not far off. But how long do you give it? You're not playing with each other week in, week out for the rest of the season to develop this.
No space here. Plays in too early.
It's a disaster.
Space, please.
Quite frankly, currently, defensively, it's a disaster. Slade is putting his wingers under so much pressure, but he's been put under pressure by the style of defence. You've already made 15 metres of line speed. Why do you then give them the opportunity to break you? You've done the job. You've pushed them back territorially. All you've got to do then is hold your position, stay connected, use the touchline. If you want to run round us, have a go. You're not running around the outside of Slytome unless he's got his back turned to you.
Well, it remains a conundrum for Steve Borthwick to solve. Joe Al-Abd is the man in charge of England's defence. Of course, he's inherited the mantle from Felix Jones, who departed. And I just wonder if that dislocation that happened over the summer, the departure of Jones and the arrival of Al-Abd has caused these problems.
You know, people say, well, they're all professional players, they should be able to react to. But aside from anything, that's not the style of system that Joe coaches. So his authenticity when he's trying to sell it to the players is, well, how come you've not been using it before if it's that good? So he has inherited something. I think after this they will have a debrief and go, look, is this the best way forward? And there's nothing wrong with trying new systems. That's how teams move on and get better. But at some point you've got to say, do we cut our losses and say this isn't as good as what we were doing, and in which case you revert back to what you're doing, or do you persevere with it, hoping that the players, the more they play together, the more they train together, get the hang of it? But it's so high risk, so high reward. If you can't do that, you could be a year down the line going, actually, we should have changed our defence back.
About a year ago. But I think the major problem with it is Slade is your man who's in control. And he's not as quick as Ollie Lawrence. If Ollie Lawrence spots that, he's 2 yards further forward as the pass is getting there. The number of times, and watch the rest of the game, it might not happen again, but maybe watch the game back. And the 3 breaks that we've seen from Japan have all been Slade being slightly late, but he recognises he's late, so then he goes midfield and he ends up doing neither. So just watch them back and see, actually, if you were in that shirt, if you're a rugby player or you understand the game, what would you have done?
A couple of changes have been made here. Harry Randall's on at 9 for Jack van Poortvliet, and Japan have won a scrum penalty. And just look what it means.
Never forward.
Big old celebrations from the Brave Blossoms, because that marks quite a considerable turnaround in events from the set piece.
Christmas has come early for the Japanese pack.
I think Ben Gunter's probably pretty upset that the referee blew the whistle, because he was careering under the sticks if the whistle hadn't gone.
On the line.
You can see it's a good decision. Stewart got compromised there. Underneath, Eddie Jones loves it, Neil Hatley loves it even more, and they love it the most.
Well, they've secured line-out ball here as well through Louis Viti. The other change England made, by the way, Luke Cowan-Dickey for the captain, Jamie George at hooker.
Same ball. Take 3 away, and 1, please.
Japan go to ground.
Step back.
And now they can play. Nakambula is hovering, and Fafita is heading back to the traffic, and he's not quite held actually by George Martin, so he makes the most of that opportunity, takes Japan another couple of metres forward.
Ball's there, leave it, Red, ball's there.
Shimokawa driven to the ground.
Counter record's good.
And the ball popped out for Akabe. England ready and waiting, shooting off the line. McCurran tries to draw the sting from that line speed, dabs it forwards, and Furbank calls for the mark and wallops it clear.
Smart from Furbank, really quick reaction, gets good distance on his kick, takes all the pressure that England have been under for the last 2 minutes or so off his forwards, gives them a bit of a breather to get back into position, and now trying to attack this line out.
It's highly unlikely that England are going to lose this game, is it? Finn Smith sat on the bench. A lot of people want to see what he's like in an England shirt. He hasn't been given a decent run. We know how good Smith is. Could they potentially play together? That's the other conversation. I'd like to see him sooner rather than later, wouldn't you? I'm sure all the Saints fans would.
It may be that Marcus Smith moves to fullback to accommodate his namesake potentially. In the meantime, McCurran for Japan, and they've worked it clear for Nakambula. Freeman does enough, and Lawrence is in there, manfully holding up the man in the challenge. Great punch forward to the 10-metre line. Fifita has worked hard in the carry, trying to find the corner of the English defence here, Japan. Saito pops it off the floor. Wanga clattered in the tackle. Itoji says, I'll have that. And England are back in possession.
Use it.
Just can't hold on to it for long enough, the Japanese at the moment. Smith wants territory, and he'll take that for the time being.
Oh, I mean, what are we doing? You turn them over in midfield, you've got decent ball, you've got 6 guys outside you, and the guy, the genius of Marcus Smith, kicks the ball 15 metres into touch and gives possession straight back to Japan. I mean, am I the only one getting frustrated?
I doubt that very much. I think, given Smith's natural attacking instincts, it seemed like a curious decision.
You're the only one on a lot of things, but not being frustrated by that.
Change at lock for Japan. Daichi Akiyama on for Sanaila Wanga. And off comes Ellis Genge, which means Finn Baxter is with us, the young Harlequin.
Over the 15.
This one will fall for Kawandeki. This is Slade now, assessing the options. Freeman on the move. Nakambula's under pressure. Freeman has it. Oh, that's been a special. Just a little bit special. Furbank goes in. Freeman with the sleight of hand. His teammates can barely believe it.
Well, the pressure from the line out from that great call from Marcus Smith to take the field position. Turns the ball over, and as they spread to the wide channel, that Northampton Saints combination. Ball thrown over the top. Kawandeki reacts quickest, puts the ball into the wide channel. The nudge through from Henry Slade, and then that's brilliant. But equally, the knowledge from Furbank that it's coming. He knows exactly what his Northampton Saints teammate's going to do. And he maintains his foot speed and just has enough fingertips on it to drag it with him and score the try.
It's better, isn't it? It's opportunity. Take your opportunity. They're few and far between in international rugby. The wind's got hold of that kick from Smith. But even when you're not expecting it, if you go wide, it is the best place currently to find space. He does so well, Freeman, to get to the ball first. A lovely piece of skill, as Ben said.
Smith has come on for Furbank, so you'd imagine Finn Smith's actually gone back into the full-back position for now. Whether that will change. Marcus Smith waiting to take that high drop kick from the centre.
And the new man, Asha Apoku Fujo, making his debut. Shooting star of the prop world as we see Japan stick the restart out on the full. Huge potential, this man. 20 years old, ridiculously strong, and capable of playing both sides of the scrum. Interestingly, he's deployed at tight head, where he's come on here today for England by his club, Sale Sharks. But at England age group level, he's been on the other side, on the loose head, and props who can do that are like gold dust. High hopes in a position England have not had a great deal of depth over recent times. They've now got a succession of players who are beginning to put their hands up. Afo Fasogbon, Billy Saylor, and this man here.
He's certainly got a lot of power.
Set! Steady! Ball's out.
Very awkward one for Randall to deal with. Slade's onto it and sending that forwards. Craig Evans right in line with that.
Forward.
Yes, Marcus Smith looks like he might be heading back towards full-back.
Ball came clearly out. Ball came out.
The question, he undoubtedly, we've seen Marcus, in fact, when Marcus Smith's been on, when George Ford has come on, he's actually found some of his best attacking rugby from breaking with a bit more time. But with the new laws around the kick chase and the lack of being able to have escorts to protect your full-back at the back, does that work against Marcus Smith playing in that position against a side like South Africa that we know can compete in those areas very, very effectively?
I think that last bit of that sentence is the important bit, isn't it? Who's the opposition? And on a day like today, you can put him there without fear or favour. He might think twice against a team like these South Africans. Forward here from Japan again. And the handling not quite on point enough to put England under genuine pressure.
Just one of the things, though, Ali, about him moving back. He missed that tackle against Australia. He stepped in, he was out of position, he found himself in the wrong spot when he got there. Just watching that piece of play there, nice little carry in the midfield. Watch him, he'd just come into shot now. On the outside, you'll see him in a second. There he is, he's out of position. He's in the wrong spot there because the pendulum hasn't worked round. So if there's nobody at all in straight behind for the kick, then he gets in that place a little bit too early for me. That's something he can learn, something that more experience back there, but it's very, very difficult if you're the last line of defence and you're already 10 metres in the wrong place.
Randall away to Slade. A little bit more careful on this pass, and Smith is dummying and moving and offloading really nicely. Slade again. Earl.
Never onside, advantage.
Began the scoring for England today. Japan called offside. Lawrence. Itoje. Finn Smith. Nice line cut by Cunningham South. Randall. Slight home. Itoje holds it back for Smith. It's gone forwards from Martin.
You already see
they had the advantage.
Seeing the slightly different style between the two Smiths. Marcus Smith tends to have a little bit more time on the ball himself. He'll delay his pass. He'll see what the defenders are doing. He'll try and drag them out of the defensive line. Finn Smith is very much a get it through his hands quickly. When it's on to go himself, he'll go. But you just see his ability, as you know with Northampton, they like to play into that wide channel really, really quickly. And his ability to play to options out the back, play to options wide, is slightly different to Marcus Smith.
It was good though, wasn't it? The shape was quite nice because they were both involved, they're both getting the ball out the back or standing as a first receiver. I think it makes life a lot easier for your forward carries if they've got more options off that first receiver rather than just being told to bulldoze the ball off one pass from 9.
And that was what they were offering up against South Africa in the last 20.
Yeah, a bit more shape.
Good line-out ball, 5 metres out. Cowan-Dickie sensing an opportunity here. Wrestling forward for another score. Brute force from the replacement hooker. Try number 7.
It's a really good score and finish from Cowan-Dickie. The maul breaks down because it's immediately sacked by Japan. First man in's allowed to pull it over as the tackler, as long as no one else joins. I think there are some bodies in there. Craig Evans maybe just giving Japan the benefit of the doubt, but as Cowan-Dickie rolls out, 3 Japanese defenders there, and he bounces and ducks his head, gets underneath them, puts his hand on the floor, and then eventually twists and turns his way through to the line. Really powerful carry.
That's where he's so good, isn't he? His low centre of gravity, 5 metres out, ability to keep his feet moving forward. There's not many people around the world who would have scored that try in that position.
Back to something like his very best, Luke Cowan-Dickie, after a very difficult time with injuries. His first try, in fact, for England in four long years. So this will feel good. And particularly another of those who was talking in the week about the disappointment from a week ago, the dummy line out at a key moment against the box that cost England so dear.
The way the game's refereed now, he's a nightmare to tackle because he's so, as Austin said, so good at staying on his feet when his forehead's a couple of inches off the floor. So just that late dip means if you try and put a big shot on him, there's a risk of hitting his head. Players are wary of that. They stand off him a little bit too much.
Yeah, sorry.
All action carry from the sail hooker.
A raft of replacements have been made by Eddie Jones for Japan. Henry Slade is making way as well, which means Tom Roebuck is on the field. And Morikawa at loosehead for Japan. Fujiwara has also come on,
England has carried back
I believe, at scrum half.
Balls will use it.
And Tavita Tatafu
Use 9, back.
into the back row. Who wants this? Roebuck was after it. It's gone forwards, and Japan might be able to conjure something here from the 10-metre line. Fujiwara whips it away. This is Tatafu. Plays his rugby in Bordeaux in the French top 14.
Timing's good.
Floated across the face of that English defence, and Smith makes the tackle. Can Japan hold on to it for long enough to stress those English defenders? Up they come again in a hurry. Fujiwara, quick transfer. Tatafu, what an offload, that's magnificent. Stellar stuff. And Osada is brought down by Smith.
Don't put him in, use!
Curran waits to the left. Instead, rumbling through the middle is Morikawa, and this is a fine score for Himeno. Japan have their second, and the replacements really making their presence felt.
That's a really nice work try. Comes from the offload originally. England think they've numbered up defensively, but gets his hands free. And Chicken wins it out the back door, and once they're in behind, they don't panic. Good tackle from Marcus Smith, but here it's just a little bit lazy between Cunningham South and Martin, isn't it? Don't really go up with any line speed, and the finish, as you said, really, really good, and Himano slides in for his score.
Takuro Matsunaga taking over the kicking duties. All good.
As Ben said, George Martin actually gets back into a really good position. There he is. Look, he's in exactly the right spot now, but he sees something on the outside. Watch his head turn. He thinks, right, I've got to go and cover that. He's looking out, looking back in. He ends up being 5 yards just in the wrong place. It's an easy line eventually, isn't it? It's a good finish, but how good was the break and the tackle from Marcus Smith?
There was great space.
I mean, real gas through the middle from Osada. They deserve the try, Japan, actually. They played some nice little phase play in this last 5-10 minutes.
I don't mind George Martin doing that, but he's got to tell Cunningham South on his inside that he's going, because 3 England players were there to deal with the initial problem.
Use!
You can't just drift without telling the guy on the inside.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
What can Japan do now? A little bit of pace on the ball. Game's opened up a little bit, which will suit them.
Curran, seen a great deal from him. They really haven't had enough meaningful possession for him to make an imprint on the game from fly half.
Stop. Stop, players, hold it.
Matsunaga's clearance. And good to see the fight and the character from this Japanese side, this very inexperienced Japanese side. And for those of you who were following Japan through their own World Cup in 2019, those extraordinary days when they beat Scotland the day after the typhoon in Yokohama, the win over the Irish, the win over Samoa, booking their place as the first Asian quarter-finalist at a World Cup. You might be wondering just what's happened to them subsequently. They've played very little rugby between those 2 World Cups in 19 and 23. They just lost their momentum. England creating space for Roebuck. Clear run to the line, 1 man to beat, cuts in field, brought down, maybe a little high. England recycling quickly, and Randall is held. Extraordinary commitment here from the Japanese defence. Look for all money as if Roebuck was home and hosed. Earl wrestles forwards, has to squeeze the ball back though.
Stay back, hands back. Advantage.
Japan offsides, and the try scored anyway.
Try is good, all momentum.
Well, England's best
Try is good.
attack off a line out here. Very reminiscent of something that Finn Smith might have called for his Northampton Saints team. This is how they tend to play. Ollie Lawrence leading the charge off the back. Ben Earl, great hands to Finn Smith, who loves this, and he's a master at getting the ball in and out of his hands as quickly as possible, but more importantly, giving a target for his winger to run onto. Roebuck just gets caught there, can't quite get to the line himself. And it's Cowan-Dickie again, who stays low, as we mentioned before, eyes to the line, nearly dislodged the ball as he went over. But he's so strong in those low positions, Cowan-Dickie.
It's another good kick from Marcus Smith, Ali, but just the pass, like you said, Ben, from Finn Smith, is absolutely on the money. Roebuck doesn't have to break stride at all, and the timing of it's lovely. They hold the midfield. Look at the way he just slides it across, and Roebuck just can arc his way to the outside, and he's at full tilt. He doesn't have to stop back, doesn't have to step inside. On the money. Great cover defence from Japan, by the way. But that's how you get to the outside of a defensive line. Good handling skills.
And the ball hasn't gone 10 from the restart again from Japan.
The other thing you see from that angle, which is really important to any kids watching at home, is how he manages to keep his shoulders completely square down the pitch. So none of the defenders can leave early. Because he's square on, no one can drift on him early, which means those players on the outside have to stay. Those players right in front of him have to stay. And they're all concertinaed up, so they can't bounce early out to get towards Roebuck. Something New Zealand are exceptional at. Everyone throwing their passes, but keeping their bodies facing straight down the field, shoulders square, holding defenders and preserving the space for the wingers on the outside.
Goes without saying, Ben, as well, doing that really helps when the ball is thrown out in front of you so you can run onto it, and that is something that Northampton really do specialise in, the crispness of their handling. As we see George Martin make way for Nick Ezekwe in the second row for England, packing down alongside his club teammate Maru Itoje.
Bind! Set!
Finn Smith to the line, Lawrence. Randall away, Earl. Looking to exploit some tired Japanese bodies at this point. Perhaps Curry keeps it alive. Here's Opoku for jaw. A little bit loose, but Cowan-Dickie's there.
A little pirouette there in the middle, didn't he?
Space in the backfield, which Randall has seen.
Nice kick, well executed. Just a shame it wasn't a 50-22 for him.
Just the wrong side of halfway, wasn't he?
Back.
Matsuoka's delivery. Up gets Ezekwe to spoil possession. Baxter. Lawrence going backwards to go forwards. Freeman looking for work, looking for the ball now. Earl shut down by Jimeno. Finn Smith to the kick pass, and Roebuck in some space, looking to back himself with a big fens. Through he goes now. Thought he was in a moment ago, but now Tom Roebuck has his first international try.
That's really opening up for England now, and Tom Roebuck, the man that can finish, delighted to be getting so much space in those wide channels.
Thank you.
He's got plenty of width here, but the trajectory of the kick. Marcus Smith in a hurry to get this over the sticks. It's the trajectory of the kick that's just perfect for Roebuck to attack.
There's that stolen line out that started it all, Ben. Ezekwe gets up. Randall's definitely tried to up the pace of the game since he's been on, hasn't he? He's achieved that. But I was going to show you actually exactly what Finn Smith was looking at. He comes around the corner, he knows that Roebuck's out there, but he just looks at how wide the Japanese defensive line is. He spots that last defender. Akinbulla on the outside is a little bit tight, gives him the confidence to put the kick in.
Benno stopped in his tracks by Uli Viti, but penalty's gone Japan's way here.
Leave it go. Okay.
Another touch
On the line, one,
for the Japanese from 5 metres out.
Take the line. Line's yours, lads. Push. Line, push. On the line. Move over. Line.
Inside the final 10 minutes. Matsuoka picks out Uli Viti.
Inside the 5. Through the middle.
Itoji's done a very good job there.
Lead 19, lead.
Fujiwara
through the middle.
is being held. Itoji is just making an absolute menace of himself. Very effectively from an England perspective.
Back. Use.
Japan in possession though, with another advantage.
Penny advantage 9.
Big tackle from Kawandiki. Quick ball though again for the Japanese. McCurran sending it as wide as he can. Always
lads, offside.
A free play.
Yeah, in contrast to the pass I was talking about with Smith, you could see what he was doing. He turned towards the sideline, really wound up his pass, and England's defensive line just drifted. And he had to put a little bit too much onto it. He'll get another shot, come back for the advantage.
Same position. On the line, England.
Once again to the catch and drive.
Just don't close it, lads. I'm not going to stop it again. On the line. Don't worry about 9.
Plan being hatched. A delay on the input.
Let's play.
On the call.
Advantage.
Forwards from Tatafu.
Let's let move.
Bit of inexperience there from Japan, allowing England to close the gap really sufficiently to just put the throw off.
Knock on the line, scrum England.
In the end, the back of the line out, I just say, get it in. Tatafu's like, throw the ball, mate, just chuck it.
Time off, hook her down.
Dicky needing a little bit of repair work. I was mentioning the issues that the Japanese have had in recent times in terms of building on all the interest that they created in 2019. They held the most fantastic tournament for the World Cup back then. They've got their own domestic league, of course, which is very attractive, offering big salaries for limited numbers of matches. It's all backed by major corporations. And they've got a large player pool. Some 125,000 registered rugby players in Japan. 3,500 rugby clubs. So you'd like to think
they've got the raw materials.
The future would be bright.
They really have got the raw materials, haven't they, in terms of numbers?
Numbers and finance, which is a rarity in the rugby industry, as we know. Scrum penalty is England's.
He's gone to his knee.
Fair to say the atmosphere is slightly different towards the end of this game than it has been the last 3 weeks. Everything on a knife edge. England obviously well out in front. Crowd enjoying themselves. But there'll still be that underlying feeling that this is just Japan.
This is true. Akinbulla racing onwards. He's gone directly into Curry, who went down and was a little bit slow getting to his feet. Fujiwara, the delay on the pass. And Maro Itoje seems to be growing in terms of his influence on proceedings as well now. Out of the back it comes, a bouncing ball, very often so dangerous.
Forward.
Tatafu, that was clearly forwards.
I think there might be a few English fans there actually booing the decision. Want to see a flowing game, but it's clearly forward. Again, look how tight Roebuck is as the last defender. He's a good 25 metres from his touchline, so if they do get round you, your fastest guy's got a lot of ground to make up.
Yeah, don't go to me. Stay up. Go on in, England, don't waste time, let's line back up. You're missing your 6.
Ellis Genge still keen to see that intensity of the set piece. We talked about finishing strong. Good sides have been really, really ruthless in these circumstances. Properly put the hammer down in the last few moments. Else we do wonder exactly what England will have achieved at the end of today. So hard to measure against a team of this nature. They're going to win by plenty, but they were expected to win by plenty. And until, frankly, they go to Dublin in the opening game of the Six Nations, we're not going to know exactly where England are, because there's no question they've gone in reverse this autumn from the summer.
Yeah, some pluses, some minuses. Largely, actually, defence-based. Conceded 2 tries, 3 in the other 3 games today. Missed a lot of tackles still today. But equally, there's been some nice bits, like passes like that.
21 stop. Good. Yeah,
Smith
thank you.
driving England forwards, ever onwards into the Japanese 22. One more assault on the Japanese try line. Ben, time for your player of the match.
That's a tough one today, because there's not really been any standout performance. Finn Smith's, I think, made a drastic difference since he came on. Ben Earl, some of his link play's been really good, his usual output in terms of work rate, but probably just for his try, where he dropped it onto his toe, finished it off. I'm going to give it to the Autumn Nations Series player of the match, to Ollie Slightholme.
Sorry?
Such a classy finish, wasn't it? Last week, his first start. And I mentioned his dad, John, scored 4 tries in 12 caps back in the mid-90s. And Ollie has already equalled his old man.
Should make Christmas Day fun.
Release!
Let's hope he gets one more in the last 3 minutes, just to dry up the turkey.
Randall being manhandled. Itoje, bit of width. Finn Smith dabs it through, and the cover is strong from Kajimura.
Still alive, still alive, still alive.
I think it'll be interesting, Ali. There'll be a lot of speculation, won't there, now, over the Christmas period into January about what will that England team look like to start the game over in Dublin. Undoubtedly, this guy is going to be in it. The big question is where, for me, because I think he offers so much in space, but sometimes, like you said, Ben, Finn Smith coming on in the 10 shirt has just given them a little bit of structure, and maybe that's what they need in their attacking game. Defensively, they have to bin the blitz defence. It has to go if they want a chance in the Six Nations.
5!
And I wouldn't be surprised to see a midfielder, Lawrence and Freeman, either.
Army got 17.
Well, abandoning the Marcus Smith project at 10 would be a big old departure for Steve Borthwick, having invested so many test matches in it to this point. Also, I'd raise the question, if he's playing 10 for Harlequins every week, are you happy deploying him at 15 in white?
But you're not abandoning the 10 thing, you're just putting another 10 on. He can still go and play 10, he can still go and play first receiver on numerous occasions. And then when you go to a multi-phase, which is a game England are trying to play, super fast ruck speed, normally if you're doing that, you can't always have your first playmaker in position all the time, and it might make life easier for the forwards.
It's the Bowden Barrett thing, isn't it? Barrett now back 10 for New Zealand, but we saw him playing 15 for so long as that second playmaker. I guess the only thing is around that kicking battle, particularly over in Dublin, what England might expect if Marcus Smith is back there.
Doesn't matter.
But
Finn
Smith has looked really, really good. We know what a quality player he is. Equally, Marcus Smith has been one of the high points of England's performances.
I think that's the thing to bear in mind, isn't the high points? Let's give a few ticks in the box. I think Slytome's been very, very good. I think, like you said, Marcus Smith has been the focal point for everyone. The pack have been largely competitive, but they haven't been dominant in certain areas. They haven't carried overly well, but I think in terms of the strategy and the tactics, they haven't made life easy for the pack. Cunningham South, I think, has had a good automation series. But there's still a lot of room for improvement and a lot of time to do it.
Japan still pouring forwards with the clock bearing down on 80. Himeno with one more carry.
Thank you.
A good try beyond the 22, but they've stripped possession here, England, and working it now through Freeman. Maybe there's one more flourish. Instead, it's one more drop.
Not on England.
And that is it. Game over. And after 5 straight defeats for England, finally a win. At times, little more than a training run, if we're honest. And overall, an autumn that's thrown up many more questions than answers. But despite this being very much a work in progress, they'll head to the Six Nations in much happier mood. 9 tries to Japan's 2. And smiles even from Eddie Jones. Full time at the Allianz Stadium at Twickenham. England 59, Japan 14.
Yeah, as you said, we were never, England were on a bit of a hiding to nothing today anyway. Whatever they did, if they'd won by 80 points, no one would have batted an eyelid. If they hadn't played well and they'd only won by a smallish margin, people would have been questioning them. So what Steve Borthwick, with hindsight, would have given to have played this game first, give himself a little bit of flow to his attacking play before he went into the might of a New Zealand, Australia, South Africa autumn series. But they were the cards that were dealt. England had to deal better with them. As Austin said before, sliding doors moments that kick goes over against New Zealand. It could have changed everything for England. Big win first up, then into Australia. But that's what happened. England haven't quite managed to deliver what they wanted to. They would have seen at least 3 out of 4 victories as imperative here, I'm sure. Now puts a lot of pressure on them heading into that huge first game of the Six Nations.
Yeah, I agree. It's difficult to know what to expect from England when they come up against Ireland, because Ireland, by their own admissions, haven't had the easiest autumn either. So that opening game of the Six Nations now is going to be fascinating for so many different reasons. I thought Japan actually were quite good value in certain parts of the play, around the midfield, some of the tip-on, some of the invention. And we know what Eddie Jones does. He breaks the status quo. He's removed a lot of their experienced guys that we saw at the World Cup. It's the 35 caps is their most capped player playing today. This side's only going to get better and more competitive, but equally they're quite good to watch.
Well, a return to Twickenham for Eddie Jones, renewing old friendships. Now an England team, at least with smiles on their faces after a particularly testing campaign. They've put a decent body of work together at times, sporadically. But actually, maybe, Ben, the only thing that matters here today is simply that they got the victory and they've put an end to the narrative of the constant defeats. Psychologically, that is very significant. So one of the brightest moments of the afternoon, the evening, was Ollie Slightholme's score. He's our player of the match.